White area. White area of LFC is used to make white foam models through prefoaming, ripening, molding, cutting and bonding. Raw materials includes EPS, stomach, EPMAT and other expandable foam materials. Take the commonly used EPS beads as example. EPS beads are used for castings of non-ferrous metals, gray iron and general cast steel. EPS beads characteristics: semi-transparent, preforming rate 40 to 60 times. Beads diameter 0.18 to 0.8 millimeters. 6 different sizes. Generally, original beads diameter should be less than or equal to 9th to 10th of the minimum wall thickness of the castings. After selecting suitable beads, enter the model making process and prefoaming the foam plastic beads. Prefoaming. Before fed into mold, EPS beads need to be pre-expanded to a certain size. The prefoaming process determines the density, dimension accuracy and stability of the models. There are mainly two kinds of equipment for EPS bead prefoaming: electric steam prefoaming machine and pure steam prefoaming machine, both of which are equipped with the most advanced PLC technology. Ripening. Prefoamed EPS beads are placed in a dry and ventilated silo for a certain period of time, making inside and outside of beads pressure balance, optimizing the elasticity and the expandability, and removing water on the bead surface, then sent to curing storage hopper through automatic feeding system. Foam modeling. After curing ripening, EPS beads are fed into LFC mold cavity by pressure feeding system and heated, so that the beads are expanded again and fused together, filling the cavity and forming a smooth surface. Models should be cooled and settled before ready. After modeling, there should be enough time for models drying and stabilization. The white model is wet on the surface and contains moisture inside, so it must be thoroughly dried. Forming equipment mainly has two kinds of hydraulic forming machine and lead screw forming machine. The LFC mold is made of aluminum alloy and designed according to different product structure, model cutting and bonding. Modeling products may only be part of the model or initial forming blanks, which need further processing such as cutting and bonding. This process is to combine a number of foam plastic white models with a special adhesive for the lost foam casting to form a model cluster. Yellow area. Yellow area of LFC is mainly used to brush special coating on white model clusters and to dry in drying rooms. The main functions of coating in LFC are to insulate metal liquid and model, to discharge model gasification waste gas, to ensure surface quality of castings, to improve the strength and stiffness of models, and to prevent damage or deformation of the models to a certain extent. This requires the coating to be air permeable, fireproof, coating suspension adhesive in order to reduce the defects on castings such as blowholes, sand burning, so as to ensure the rate of finished products. Generally, there are 4 methods of brushing and painting: brushing, dipping, pouring and spraying. According to the characteristics of different models, several methods can be applied comprehensively in actual production. After coating, models are moved to drying rooms with 45 to 55 circulating hot air for drying. During drying, models should be placed reasonably and supported to prevent deformation. At the meantime, temperature and humidity should be strictly controlled to get thoroughly dry out. After thoroughly dried, model clusters are ready for pouring. Black area. Black area process is the stage of solid type casting. Dry model clusters are placed in sandboxes. Special dry sand is fed to sandbox by shower feeding machine for molding. Molten liquid is poured under negative pressure state. Models gasified with molten liquid replaced, thus qualified castings are produced. The black area of the lost foam casting process is to replace white foam models with molten iron and form casting. There are 3 steps: vibration molding, casting replacement and sand treatment. For work stages are here: bottom sand feeding, model clusters placing, sand feeding and molding, foam covering and surface sand feeding. The molding station adopts vibration table and rain shower sand feeder for modeling. The rain shower sander adds bottom sand to the sandbox. After the bottom sand is added, the model cluster is put into the sandbox, and the rain shower sander again to add sand to the flat gate position. During the whole sand adding process, the shaking table vibrates to ensure that the molding sand fills all positions of the model. After the shaking is completed, the shaking table is lowered, and the sandbox is moved to the track again. In the hydraulic box pusher, it pushes away from the molding station under the sand storage bucket to carry out the next box modeling. Through molding one by one, the sandbox successively passes through the adding surface sand station of the sand feeder, cover the film and its surface sand to finish the molding. Plastic film is used to seal from top of sandbox. During casting, negative pressure system is automatically butted with sandbox, making a relative vacuum environment in the sandbox. The sand particles are bonded together by the pressure difference between the atmosphere and the internal molding, which ensures that the casting process is not broken or scattered. When pouring, it absorbs the gas generated by the EPS model gasification, avoiding blowhole in the casting, increasing the flow speed of the liquid metal. Also, it accelerates the flush type, and thus improves the qualified rate of the castings. After pouring, the castings need to be cooled down for a certain time in sandbox, then be turned over out of box. Automatic turnover machine is used to separate castings from molding sand. Molding sand goes to sand treatment system, while castings go to shot blasting machine to remove surface coating. Qualified castings are formed. Sand treatment system. Sand treatment system is a very important production process of LFC. Molding sand after box turnover is primarily cooled by water cooling in sand shakeout machine. Then it is separated from casting residue in sundries by screening conveyor. The screening conveyor is equipped with a cooling system, which could reduce sand temperature quickly and efficiently. The residue is taken out by the slag lifting machine while the molding sand is lifted by elevator to horizontal cooling machine for major cooling. Then by elevator, the molding sand is sent to temperature regulator for further cooling. After all these process, the sand is transferred to straight hopper for production. In fell-hole sand treatment system, each node uses dust collector to remove dust from production process. On the one hand, this helps production be clean and pollution-free. On the other hand, the dust in the molding sand is removed, which improves the air permeability of the sand and reduces casting defects. Thanks to advanced PLC technology, the whole process is equipped with sand temperature control, automatic temperature regulation, and frequency modulation to finalize sand screening, dust removal, and cooling, so that molding sand can be recycled. The commonly used equipment of dust removal system pulse back dust collector and pulse back dust removal, which mainly deal with the dust treatment of each node in LFC sand treatment system. Ryu Company has also developed the exhaust gas treatment system, which is mainly used to purify the benzene compound gas produced by the white model gasification during pouring. It uses activated carbon adsorption photoxygen, adsorption desorption catalytic combustion, and so on to purify the exhaust gas, to meet clean production and environmental requirements, and to guarantee smooth production.